Yo, what's up, YouTube fam? PringleTheOne in building. How we doing today, guys? And I hope we've been doing good. And I've come to you guys with two things I have to tell you guys. And I'm pretty late, but at this point, I don't think it necessarily matters because if you follow me, it shouldn't really matter. If you don't really follow me, then it should probably matter a bit. But if most likely you pay attention, you would know these things anyways. So, one thing. I recently moved from Twitch to YouTube, and I'll tell you why. During my time on Twitch, it has been pretty abysmal, right? The most people I actually get, the most viewer concurrentships I actually get like throughout a day, or like a normal steady rate, I only get like maybe 20, 30. That's like 2 years of straight streaming on that site, right? And even with the growth of my YouTube channel, I've made it so that I have more and more people flocking towards me, and then they would, come and check out the Twitch channel. But in the end, it hasn't really helped out much because people still don't actually really like using Twitch for that reason. For some reason, there's some issues with the app. Most of the time, every time I use it, there's always an issue with the app. And nowadays, a lot of people have moved towards mobile use, like a lot more than oftentimes. More of the market is now using more and more mobile apps to actually go about streaming services and stuff like that, or watch streaming services. So it's changed a lot since then. There's also the tools or the quality that Twitch offers that I can get it a little bit better on YouTube. Like for instance, people can actually like change the setting if they don't have the strongest internet. Not everybody can afford the best internet to be watching like 720p all the time or 1080p or whatever the hell I'm streaming at. So that actually does help me out in that sense. The only thing I could say, the negatives though, is probably the fact that, well, I should talk about the negatives a little bit afterwards because that goes into my second item, or my second thing, second item. Yeah. So the site itself doesn't necessarily help out many people like me. We just kind of died obscurity because of the fact that there isn't much people streaming some of the games I would play, like maybe a fighting game or something like that. You'd see some people come in, and like fighting games on Twitch is really like that's where they really belong. YouTube is just for like the VODs and stuff, but Twitch is more so like for interaction because YouTube gaming hasn't really found or evolved into using bots or emotes or having custom emotes or anything like that yet when it comes to their service. Maybe they will. I believe they will because I mean YouTube is pretty big company at this point, which they're gonna try to trump any kind of way Twitch has, and Twitch doesn't necessarily have any kind of competitors at the moment that can really compete with it. It's so big. Like there's Hitbox, but Hitbox, it's still around. I checked a couple of weeks ago, or I think last week. It's still around, and there isn't really as much traffic as, let's say, one streaming in Twitch. Like one dude streaming in Twitch has like almost like 2,000 people watching. And then I saw like the highest was like on Hitbox was like 1,000. So like that's just one dude. Like the League of Legends players that's like already 100,000 people watching those streams. Like people love those kind of streams. So it's really hard to compete with something that's already so big. Like not only is it hard, but when you try competing with it, it gets to the point where, is it worth it? Is it worth really competing with it? Yeah, we could try doing what we do right over here on our end, but with a competition that big, it's abysmal. Like, say for instance, here's a good example. There's one energy provider right here, one light energy provider, right? And it's called FPL. FPL is the only provider we have. If there is somehow a new provider that comes in, if they're able to actually do exactly the same thing FPL does, better, cheaper, then somehow, some way, that provider may make a splash. But at this point, there is so much people on FPL that even if they were to do, like even if there was a competitor that was doing the same thing, and cheaper, it would still be extremely hard for that competitor to put its foot into that kind of competition. And so because of the lack of amount of people that would come to it, it would probably die. And so this is one of the hardest things about competitors in the live stream market. And so like with the gaming live stream market. And so that's probably one big thing with like YouTube and Twitch and Hitbox. There's probably other various ones, maybe, I don't know, Daily Motion or something. And you won't really see much of those waves. Now then, that goes into my second problem, or yeah, my second thing with with YouTube in itself, as opposed to Twitch. Now Twitch, a couple of things I don't like about Twitch is that they run ads on your Twitch channel, but you don't get no money out of it. To get the ad money, you gotta be having like a subscriber badge. So you gotta have like, based off their site, you either gotta know somebody, you gotta be seconds, or you gotta know somebody. You have to have at least 500 concurrent viewership, and you really gotta know somebody. Like from what I've seen that knowing somebody can really help. Or you gotta have some sort of like niche that has so much people, because if you're playing like normal games, like, oh, I'm playing maybe, let me think of a game. Oh, I'm playing Skullgirls. None of these Skullgirls players have, like, the top highest level Skullgirls player won't have any kind of like subscriptions, or the top highest level like games that people don't really play too often, they won't really have something unless they're speedrunning it. And even then, speedrunning, unless you're doing like a really popular game, they kind of die into obscurity as well. So like, even if you're this person that's like, oh man, he's so ooh, and he pops up and adds so much enthusiasm, the way Twitch works, it may not work. And so for me, I don't have that issue too much, because my actual fan base is you guys on YouTube. That's like where the grunt or the power behind it all comes from. That's really where I get the numbers. Excuse me, the numbers that actually help out me and the people that tune into me. So those would help. Now then, the second really biggest thing, because YouTube isn't perfect either. They're both not that good, really. They both have issues. The problem with YouTube, or more like the problem with certain things that when you do stream on YouTube and when you want to keep the VOD up there, content claims. Now, I'm getting hit with, and specifically Nintendo, because we're going there. Specifically Nintendo. Nintendo's been hitting me with content claim after content claim after. My videos are getting hit with so much of those that we are not playing Nintendo games on this channel anymore. I am not touching Nintendo. I don't want anything to do with them. The way their creator program is not a very good program. I want to actually mention a guy, the YouTube attorney called Leonard French, I believe he's YouTube attorney, and he actually speaks of these things, like where's the fair use? Where's the fair use with these Nintendo claims that I'm getting as well? Like I try to appeal these and I try to fight these claims, and all I get is, no, your claim was invalid, their appeal still stands, or whatever I get, right? And then it gives you the option of saying, okay, I'll just take it, or I'll take the song off. But if you take the song off, there's no music playing, right? Or what they do is that they allow you to reappeal it. You know what I'm saying? You can appeal it again. But if they say no, they give your channel a copyright strike. So that is terrible. That is actually a very terrible gamble. And you know, my videos don't have the views, so I'm not necessarily caring too much about it. But I do feel that is odd, and that's a really bad way, and we should speak about those things, because the way Nintendo goes about things, or even there's some other places that claim other people's videos, but there isn't actual like valid evidence. It seems as if they're using the blanket of fair use, or the blanket of like claiming people's videos, but they're not really explaining very well things like, okay, this has audio footage, or this has visual footage, but this person is actually talking about this thing and criticizing it or critiquing it in a certain way. Like my Nintendo Switch video, that was literally me criticizing and critiquing things. Yeah, I made a couple of jokes here and there, of course, but obviously I tried putting that through them, and they're like, nope, that's not gonna work. And then I'm like, oh well, maybe I'll try the YouTube content creators program, the Nintendo one. Now, I'm gonna link it in the description below, but there's a guy that made this video. Where's the fair use? The YouTube attorney, Leonard French, right? And he speaks of each and every single thing that's wrong with that Nintendo program. It is something else, man. Like, so for instance, if you're on a network, right, which most of the time happens to people that play video games because they don't want to get hit with copyright strikes. So they tend to be in video game. They tend to be in a lot of networks and stuff. It happens to a lot of them, right? It helps them in. Somehow it does, I guess. If you're in a network, right? A network already takes probably about, well, let's say about 70% of your cut. Well, not 70%. You're getting about 70%, right? Then you have the YouTube program that you have to put it through. The YouTube program gets a little bit more of that percentage. I think about, I want to say, they get maybe 60, 70%. So depending on how you manage to work it between your network and the YouTube content program, you'll end up getting a smaller percentage out of that cut of the video that you made. So you have this really obstructive system on how it actually say they want to work with YouTubers, that's why the Nintendo YouTube content creator program is. Which is funny because they even claim that. I streamed Mario Kart and I had over 19 claims on that, and I was like, God damn, like whoa, man, 19 claims? Like, Jesus Christ, just claim one. Let's claim the whole video. You don't have to claim it 19 times. That's like ridiculous. So I even got claimed from the creator program themselves. And I believe that Mario Kart 8 is even a supported game into that program. So even more so, like, I'm getting claimed by Nintendo. I'm getting claimed by two different people. Well, it's still Nintendo, I want to say. I want to believe that, but it's like two different things. So it shows that streaming on YouTube, it's great for live streaming if you do plan to just like keep the VODs. If you plan to keep the VODs, it's an issue. I'm not streaming any more Nintendo stuff. That's not happening in my channel. Thank you for buddy Laura for showing me about that video. It's a really good video. I suggest everybody see that video if they're interested in knowing about where's the fair use and stuff like that when it comes to Nintendo. And I've been hit by other different companies. I can understand. Maybe I played like a random song here and there. It's kind of ridiculous. Like sometimes you'll get music companies that hit you, but they don't even own the song. Like, so you got to be careful of what you're putting on YouTube, and it's kind of annoying. Like, I get hit with so much claims, mostly Nintendo claims. Maybe the only thing at this point that I'll ever stream out of Nintendo is like Smash 4, dog, because that's really the only thing, and it's fun, but that is the only thing that I can actually stream out of YouTube, and I can keep the VOD later. Pokemon TCG actually works, that game, but Pokemon isn't really under Nintendo. That's another thing that people don't understand. Pokemon isn't really under Nintendo, so but that's all I believe that I wanted to go over. I've switched from Twitch to YouTube. I got tired of Twitch. Twitch kind of sucks. Nobody's over there. Nobody follows me over there. Everybody's like YouTube. Like everybody I know in the PD, people are like, man, YouTube's better. I see Gurgat gets more views than me. I'm like, it shows, man. It's like, site doesn't really help out. Doesn't really help me out. Doesn't help me out, so why should I be around the site? At least I can say that with YouTube, I can keep the VODs. I can put some ads in there. Maybe get a little bit of change. Boom, I get something out of it. And then there's also the donations that people come, give me donations. And it also shows activity on my YouTube channel, which is always something that like makes me feel guilty when I don't make a video, but I do stream. Or I'm trying to juggle in between it both ways. In both ways, it shows activity between the two. So it's good. I prefer streaming on YouTube. I don't really like the interface. Maybe I don't really know, man. YouTube gaming interface is decent. Twitch interface, it's just, I guess you get kind of used to it, but it's not that superior either, really. They just have bots. They have a little bit different ways to moderate the channel. When you don't really have moderators, you have a bot that can do it and like time somebody out or something like that. I guess I found ways to stop words coming in, like negative words, like the N word here and there. Man, I gotta sneeze. Ooh. Oh man. Oh man, my PS4 went to rest. So like that's good. There's a way that you can stop some words here and there. Like I get a lot of N words, got a lot of racism, so I want to stop those before they even come. They shouldn't be able to see them, period. And that's pretty much it, man. That's all I gotta say. Nintendo, I may not even buy a Switch with how Nintendo does me. I don't necessarily see the point. Maybe for a little bit of my entertainment, but the way they do me pretty dirty for me to even openly invest into a company that is going out there and it is claiming everybody that has done a Breath of the Wild damn review. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. People are getting claimed left and right for their review. And then you're telling me that I should go through your program so you could take a piece out of my video that I worked on. That this is a fair critique. Maybe some gripes, some bias here. And then it also says, even in their content, the terms of agreement, that you really can't be saying negative things. Pretty much, that's how you sum it all up. That's ridiculous, man. That's ridiculous. So, given that, I probably won't buy no Switch. You probably will not see any Switch footage of me anytime soon. They'd have to like make it mad cheap. Mario is probably the only thing I'm that interested in buying out of that thing. That system is not worth it. There's only a very few games. This has nothing to do with me and switching to Nintendo. Switching to see that. Look at that. Switching to YouTube, but at the same time, I'm just letting you guys know I probably won't be doing anything over there. It's pretty grimy. I don't really like him. That's all I got. And with that, everybody. Oh wait, gotta get this. And with that, everybody, take care, everybody. Much love and appreciation. Comment, subscribe, like us, get the liking. I just slapped my feet. Oh man, that looks stupid now. Take care, everybody. Much love and appreciation. Peace.